Hey there, my little biz besties. Welcome back to In Good Company, where real entrepreneurs share real growth stories. Thanks for liking and subscribing to my channel. Let's get into it.
More women entrepreneurs have more than one thing going on.
I had heard one of your past episodes too, that women reinvent themselves more frequently.
Because business can feel very personal if it's yours.
Something I really focus on still even to this day, which is how to get the right audience.
How do we build a social media presence without burnout? I mean, is that crazy? People to watch on video, because YouTube seems to be the most video, like it uplifts creators the most.
Yeah.
And the payout is the most on YouTube,
Oh,
but
worth
they have standards, as they should.
Yeah.
So we always encourage, like, start with YouTube, but maybe just keep all the other episodes in the background at the same time. Okay, a little bit of just sidebar warning. I do live out in the country.
Okay.
So living out in the country is the most beautiful thing my husband and I have ever decided to do for our family. However, with living in the country is kind of sassy.
Yeah. Totally fair. I split time between Chicago and Breckenridge, Colorado. So that's
okay.
Its own kind of country.
No stranger. We were told we have the best one. The best time to record is during the day, because I'm not fighting for internet with anybody that lives in this home. But if it gets laggy, or just don't leave.
Okay.
I didn't think I'd have to tell people don't leave, but I did have someone leave. And I was like, girl, where are you going?
That's
Give
hilarious.
it a chance. It will record separately.
Okay.
And it'll come together, and they do their editing thing. Yeah. The other thing to note is I do have 3 dogs. Only one of them is allowed in this room while recording. She's old, and she sits behind me. The worst that comes out of her is snoring. If you hear snoring, it's not intentional. You are extremely interesting.
That's hilarious. Oh my God, that's so cute. What kind of dog?
She's a terrier. She's a stoutly chubby girl.
Cute.
So,
that's very cute. We do a lot of fostering now, but foster dogs. Yeah. My dog passed away, so I had a dog that I was very, very connected to about just about 2 years ago. So I mean, it's been some time, but we've been fostering, and I did before him too. So fostered. So yeah, big and very used to dogs too. So we can work with that. That's actually adorable. I kind of hope it happens.
Yes, she is. I could hear it. That's what reminded me to talk about the dogs. Is she is snoring quietly right now. The other 2 are not allowed in the room during the recording because they can't be trusted.
Are they also terriers?
No. So we did rescues. So we have a big old garbage mix. So Minnie the terrier mixed with other stuff. She is, I think, 12 at this point. So she's like, I'm not trying to. Don't give me activities. Don't give me a job. Give me a really good bed. The other 2, we've got Bonnie Ray, and she is a Papillon Aussie mix. So she's like a tiny little fur ball.
And very jumpy.
Yes. So jumpy, very yappy.
Yeah.
Very nosy. She lets me know. It's funny.
That's an intense mix.
I'm telling you, every time I look at like fostering or looking at adopting new dogs, my husband's like, what is wrong with you? Why? Don't send me another sad video of a dog. So she lets me know when people are here, and we DoorDash and we do Amazon and all the things. Yeah. I always put in the notes, please don't knock.
Yeah.
Our dog will let you know. They'll let us know you're here. And then we have a Corgi Aussie mix, and she's our little skittish one. So she's the youngest, and she's Lainey Wilson. She's out there as well. So she's a follower. Yes, all of our dogs are country music artists. Lainey Wilson
and who's in the room
out there.
And who's in there?
This is Minnie. So we call her Dolly.
Okay. Okay. Yep.
When they hit a certain age, they're like, I don't care what you call me.
Yeah.
This is for you, not for
Minnie
me.
Ripperton's a good comparison though too. It's not super country, but we can run with it.
We'll run with that. Yes. So you foster dogs and you split your time between Colorado and Chicago?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Yep.
Why?
Because I love both. I love both. And I mean, there's no reason not to.
Yeah.
I actually like the summers out in Colorado more than the winters. So I Airbnb a place out there I Airbnb my place when I'm not out there. But yeah. So that's why.
So fun.
I don't know, a little city and a little mountain. Yeah, get it all.
Yeah. Completely different places. I thought there would be some I'm actually a spy, and that's just what the government requires of me.
Yeah. Well, so I would never tell you.
Sure, as a good spy wouldn't. What am I talking about? But with the type of businesses, we were kind of talking about how entrepreneurs, and I find it's more women too. I don't know if that's coincidence with my guests I've had on.
Yeah.
But I've had a healthy mix of men and women, but more women entrepreneurs have more than one thing going on.
Yeah.
And so maybe there's a trend, I don't know. But what you have going on probably suits your adventurous spirit of wanting to split your time because it's mostly virtual, right? It's
almost entirely. I mean, there's in person for the speaking events, but for those, as long as I can get to an airport. And I had heard one of your actually past episodes too that that women reinvent themselves more frequently. So maybe there's a portion of that.
Maybe that's all. That makes so much sense. Yes, that they're able to reinvent themselves.
Yeah. I mean, who knows if that's the case?
But they can be a lot of different people, in 24 hours. And I kind of felt that when I was looking at some of your social media, that I felt like, what is she doing? She's got so many different things. She probably feels like she has to wear a couple of different hats.
Constantly.
Different personalities.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's one personality, but different, maybe a different audience, or maybe feeling like you're using a different part of your brain. Do you feel like that is kind of how a day in the life of Jessica goes? Yeah.
I mean, that's a good way to put it. So I am very big. This is not what I talk about necessarily, but the way that I run my life is very block and tackle. So to be fair, I don't have any children. I am on several volunteer boards, right? So it's a very different lifestyle, and I recognize that.
Sure.
Than many people my age or in different phases of life. But I am very big on block and tackle to get anything done. So one day within reason, of course, but today, this morning, for example, I was putting together a board deck for an investor board presentation that I have later on this week. And then one of the days I'm going to be doing all, I have an assistant, but helping them figure out who to pitch for different speaking events, or, one day. And I do a lot of coaching and consulting, and I even have a little pick my brain if people want to just reach out and have a little 1 hour session. Let's just chat about different things, because I do have so many different capacities. So I only do those one day a week, and I'm this is the day that I will be doing all of those calls. Day. Yeah. So because otherwise, you're right. It's a little
it's a lot of different
crazy. I don't know. I am not a great, this is the reason I mentioned I am not a mother is because I'm not a great multitasker. So I don't know how
I don't know if I agree with that though. But
Thank you so much for saying that. But I am very big. It's a learned trait. Yeah. There you go. Maybe I just haven't learned it well.
It is. Yeah. I don't know if people say this to you, especially when you find yourself in a situation where you're listing the things that you do, which probably isn't often. Not a lot of people would come up to you and say, tell me everything you do every day. But if you find yourself listing them, I am this, and I'm on board, and I do consulting, and then people respond with, oh my gosh, how do you ever sleep? How do you do all of those things in one day? And then you think back to maybe yesterday or last week, and you think, I don't know, I just do it.
Yeah.
That's
you just do.
I am.
Yeah,
you just do. So I love hearing that, and that very much reflects your education.
Very random.
Well, sometimes you know, people have their education. They, you know, maybe they started with an associate's degree and then they explored. And the path can be clear, but then they tell you, yes, I went to school to be an accountant, but I'm a hairstylist. And you're like, oh, what happened?
Right.
Now, when I was reading your education, I was like, there is a Hallmark movie in this. Because
I'll take it.
There is some story in here. So I see that we have business marketing, which I feel like is foundational.
Yeah.
And then things get a little spicy. Tell me about your minor and your master's and what happened. Tell me that.
Yeah. So honestly, so the minor in British literature just happened because I loved Shakespeare at the time, and I realized I only had to take one more class in order to get there, and I was like, may as well.
You might as well.
Right. And I was at Miami University in Ohio, so I was outside of Cincinnati, who I'm sure most of your audience is familiar with. And so they have a great English program, and I just was like, you know, why not? I can do one more class. Why not? Let's just do it.
I'm already here.
And now I have like my friends, like my bachelorette party. This is how the reason I'm mentioning this. I had a very small bachelorette party. It was just like basically it was a girls' weekend that they put together, and it was called Bride and Prejudice because I'm like that weird person that's obsessed with Jane Austen.
Oh my God! I mean, that's perfect. It's
hilarious. But I always considered myself, I loved writing. So really, actually, that really segued itself nicely into how my business started way back in the day. It started as a blog, and it was before blogging was cool. Tumblr blogs, if somebody remembers it. It was like the grainy little pictures. Yeah, they were about the size of a thumbnail. So that's how it started. And it was while I was working in marketing research. So it was just kind of, they were together, and I started realizing how the two could pair well together. And it's something I really focus on still even to this day, which is how to get the right audience rather than get the biggest audience. I'm a big believer in getting really targeted, you know, niche audiences that are actually going to develop into ROI, right?
Be for you. Yes.
Right. Yes, absolutely. The biological sciences came kind of, it was an interest, but it was one of those opportunities where you have to say yes, right? It was, to very simplify the story. Basically, I was looking for an opportunity. I had recently moved back to Chicago. I had torn my ACL out in Breckenridge, Colorado when I was living full-time out there, which is fine. I did the surgery. Everything went smoothly. It was great, but it started to snow and I was like, I can't do the fun things. I'll try living in Chicago one more time, see if I like it. I had tried it in the past. It wasn't for me, but a lot of my family was close by. So I tried it again and loved it. Ended up living in a different area of the city, ended up really connecting with it in a new way, finding a really solid group of girlfriends, which was great. And now, you know, I've since now met my now spouse, etc. So we're pretty happy here, but I missed the nature element, and I missed being able to commune with nature and connect with animals and like that kind of thing. So I was randomly looking for ways to do that. And some of the zoos didn't really have opportunities for like actually like getting involved with animals. But Brookfield Zoo happened to have on their header, it said, get a master's degree with Miami University, otherwise known as the Miami University that I had gone to. And I was like, what is this? Talked about it on my social media, was like, this is crazy. What is this? And multiple people wrote back to me, and I have a small presence, but a presence nonetheless. Multiple people wrote back to me, some that I knew, some that I didn't know. And they were like, you have to do this program. It is incredible. And it was. So my in-person classes were at the zoo. My online classes were with Miami University. And there was even a broad component. And the main thing I wanted to get involved with was species reintroduction. So I got an opportunity just for a small portion to be involved with wild horse reintroduction in the middle of Mongolia. So it was amazing and wild. But so I don't use that as much anymore, but what I actually do use about it is the biology and a lot of the work that we do even within ourselves as humans. So one of the things that I think we forget a lot is that we are mammals. So we operate as mammals, and I read something fairly recently, and actually it was suggested from an audience member. He came up to me afterwards and said, there's this author that came up with this whole concept that we as humans have developed our society faster than we've developed as mammals. So we are learning how to cope with our world rather than being able to like really operate within it. And so how can we really do that? Because our world does change so fast, and mammals don't adapt as quickly. So they do all actually kind of play together in a weird way, but it is, on paper, it doesn't look like it makes sense.
Well, I beg to differ, because on paper, I was like, what a story. I cannot wait to hear how these all connect. So you have this incredibly broad, fun, educational background, and now you own businesses. So how do you think, I have an idea of how, but in your own words, you kind of touched on this. How does this help you in business? You kind of mentioned how you were an OG blogger, which was so fun. And I do remember Tumblr, no E, TUMBLR. Yes. And you would scroll, oh man, and you never knew. I mean, it's kind of like TikTok, but
I always missed Stumble Upon. Stumble Upon was that was the thing I missed most. Yeah.
You just got the most random facts sometimes we're talking about the galaxy. Sometimes we're talking about, something that happened at Walmart, the people of Walmart, which was I love that. Was so true. I forgot about that. You remember that? People of Walmart. Yeah. So it was so fun. So you kind of mentioned how your ability to write, your love for writing, and working in marketing kind of helped you learn about audiences and the importance of your audience. So do you think that this education background helped your businesses? How does this all connect? Tell me the second act of our Hallmark movie.
Yeah. So I would say how it connects is not only how we connect with our audiences, but it's also twofold. So one, having empathy for our audiences. So being able to understand what our audience is actually going through so that we can communicate with them in a way that is effective and meaningful for them. So that's number one. I even learned that my first company that I worked for out of college. So at the time when I started my blog, I was working in marketing research, and the company I was working for provided incentives. So like coupons, it was in CPG kind of space. And it was, we had this thought process, and it was such a good company. And it was about providing a thank you. So for example, we would never provide, if you like one soda brand, we would never send you a coupon for the other soda brand. That was one of our main premises. And I've always believed that that's the case. So you have to learn, okay, what does my audience actually need? What am I actually providing? Stop trying to talk to other audiences that don't need you. So I think that is one space in terms of having that empathy and being able to write and communicate with them in a meaningful way. So that's number one. But number two, and where I think the biology really comes in, is also how we as individuals and as humans, because we are humans at the end of the day, are able to process that information.
Sure.
A lot of times intentionally, but also without taking it personally. Because a brand the way that I always work with my clients is I'll always say I'm coaching a client on how to create their social media presence from scratch. The first thing I'll do is, okay, we're going to set this up as a person. We're going to identify this person, not necessarily even the niche customer quite yet. We'll get there, but let's set this up as a person. We'll even name it and say, what are its personality characteristics? Make it a separate person that is separate from ourselves, because a lot of times we take judgment on our business, which is not even a judgment call. It's just saying, I don't need that coffee, right? Or I don't live in that area, right? Like it's not even anything about it, but we have to separate ourselves from that. And I've even had to work on this myself. You'll notice if you scroll through my feed, which I know you did, but I took a significant break because I just needed that space myself, right? I needed to be able to separate myself to be able to process it and make sure that my brain and biology was not getting overwhelmed and not taking it on so that I could deliver what I had promised and what my quote unquote customers wanted. So that actually has a biological tint too. So it's really twofold. It's one, how can we communicate empathetically with our correct customer, or even potential customer, but also secondly, how can we pull that in internally in a healthy, beneficial way?
Right. Because business can feel very personal, especially if it's yours.
Yes, absolutely.
And
the baby, right?
It's your baby. It's an extension of you. And trying to separate that can be very difficult, especially if your name's in it.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's hard. So we're talking about building an avatar, essentially, a client avatar, which I love how you put it, because I've taken a lot of marketing courses, not college. Those have left me. All of my college marketing has left my brain. But
which is fine. It's transitioned so much. It's changed so much. So don't even worry about it.
The basics, maybe, but I don't remember a lot of that. I was just kind of doing the thing. But recently, a lot of marketing courses or people that come in and teach myself and my assistant about marketing, they mention niching down always. And they talk about audience, but they don't put it in this very humanistic way you did. So I think people are missing that key element. Let's build your ideal, your avatar of someone you're talking to, and personalize it. So people that are starting from nothing, scratch, they want to start a business, they know they need to do social media, it can feel very overwhelming. All the different trends, all the different requirements. Some coaches have told us post multiple times a day. Some coaches tell us 3 to 4 times a week. A lot of conflicting advice. And the common feeling that I get every time we say, let's try a new strategy, is burnout. Always.
Burnout. I actually posted about that even recently. Burnout specifically.
Yes. The social media, sharing your stuff with the world, is sharing your energy with someone else. It is giving a piece of yourself to the world. So I'm so curious, because you have so many moving parts and do it so gracefully, how do we build a social media presence without burnout? I mean, is that crazy? Am I asking too much? Is there a way?
So for those listening, by the way, when she said gracefully, I made a face, because that's so nice of you to say, Ashley. Like that. Wow. On the surface, I'm glad it looks that way.
The audience has spoken. I speak for the audience.
Thank you. Because under the surface, it does not feel that way sometimes. There are days. There are absolutely days. But no, there is not. So I am a big believer, especially in building a business, right? So when we're building a business, say we're starting from scratch. I'm just going to talk about, like, say day one, I want to start XYZ business, whatever it is. I think we think a little bit too much, especially when it comes to social media. We think too much about the logistics. I want to post X number of days. I need to be on all these platforms. I need to do all of these different things. What I do with my clients, so especially there's a couple of clients, very few, a select few, that I am the fractional CMO for those businesses. If I am doing what CMO, so Chief Marketing Officer. So I'm a fractional because I'm not a full-time employee for them, but I am stepping in and I run their day-to-day marketing. So it's very small businesses most of the time, seed to early stage startups. Some of them I've invested in, some of them I have not. either way. And some of them they want to grow to sell, and some of them they want to stay a local business. So it varies pretty dramatically. Either way, what I like to do first is say, okay, there's bound to be an audience or in a specific pillar, right? So we can cross post some of them. Meta platforms allow Facebook and Instagram, for example, to speak to each other. TikTok is its own beast. X is its own beast. LinkedIn is its own beast. I know you guys have a good LinkedIn presence, but it's is our audience actually? Yeah. And where do I like to be? Right? If I'm the ideal customer, where do I like to be as a person? And maybe I'm not, but like, again, that empathy, putting myself in those shoes, where would I be if I was them? Where would I enjoy time? And then, hi, Minnie. But then also beyond that, it's okay. I don't need to be everywhere. Maybe, so there are several places. So for example, on X, I'm just not on X. I don't want to be posting every single day, 15 times a day. It's just not something I enjoy. I like the visual feel of an Instagram, for example. I like that kind of connection. So X is not for me. It's not what my people are really on, right? So I just made a profile that says, hey, find me on Instagram. So it's a profile. It's just a name and says, I'm on Instagram under this handle. That's it.
Yeah.
Left it there.
Easy.
Right? Easy. LinkedIn, I do have a fairly solid group on there, but it's something that I'm slowly growing, but I only post on there maybe once a week. And I'm probably cross-posting something I've created elsewhere. Right. But what I've noticed is Instagram is really hugely, that's my bread and butter. TikTok is an audience that is a little younger than my usual crowd. So that's fine too. But I really struggle because TikTok, you can't really link through, and it's not like I have something on TikTok Shop. So talking about me specifically, audience. Right? Yeah. Talking about me specifically. I don't have a product market or anything like that. So Instagram is really where I spend my time. And then the rest of them, I'll just post once a week or something like that. All of them are successful though for the right group. So I have another client that I work with, again, as a fractional CMO. Their audience is clearly on X. They love X. X is great for them. So awesome. Let's go on there. Exactly. Let's talk about that. Let's pull off of TikTok a little bit. Let's spend a little more time here, and market in a different way. But I would just say pick a platform, stick there as much as you can, use the other ones. But if you love posting 12 times a day, do it. If you don't. Find a way to time posts. Find a way to, but also just post. Just get content out there.
Just do it.
Right. One of the nice things about social media is that you can't really break it as long as you're there. So I think a lot of us get really stressed about showing our faces or about talking to the camera. And I completely understand that. It feels awkward.
It can be scary.
It can be very scary, and it feels very weird. But once you get used to it, no one cares. Or, you can hire an external party if you have the budget for it. Literally hire somebody like your neighbor just to talk to the camera. That's somebody that's separate from it, or something like that.
I've never thought of that.
Just to have some separation. You can even hire somebody on Upwork or something like that, or Fiverr, that just to film those for them. And again, that's assuming you would have the budget, but even that, it's fairly affordable just for those one-time projects. So
and it can be, and it's I love that you went through the platforms, because like you said, when you start, we do it to ourselves, right? It's not like anyone's forcing us to do this. We do it to ourselves, and we think I have to post on all 10 bajillion of them. And I need to make the internet feel like I live on all of these platforms. And the problem is, how do you do business? How do you conduct business if you're living on social media 24/7? I don't think there's any audience out there, correct me if I'm wrong, that wants to feel like you live on social media, because then what else are you do? What are we trying to sell here? Social media? Like, I'm already bought in. Like, you don't have to sell it to me. I already do the things. So you went through each one and you said, this is where you like to show up.
Right,
this is where your audience will be to make it feel a little less daunting.
I would say the only caveat that I can think of is if you are a content creator in terms of completely focused in that space. I have, you know, some people in my network that is a lot of what they do, which is great. Typically it's going to be a younger person that like loves to share every part. There's a couple of people that are like moms or that kind of thing. I don't support any of those in terms of being a CMO for them, but more power. I have set up clear boundaries too for what I will share on social versus not. But one of the watch outs I'll say too for social specifically is I think a lot of people, especially early in their business career, go onto social because they feel like it's something they can do. Whereas instead of actually like, you know, I need to set up the perfect website. I need to be on everything because it feels like you're doing tangible work, which you are. But what I would encourage you to do is actually ask yourself, is that actually moving the needle? Rather than, for example, the cold calling it stinks if that's what part of your business model, but you have to get your brain, this is going to take it back to the biology, you have to get your brain used to hearing no's. You have to get your brain used to failure. You have to get your brain used to all of that. And it stinks at first, but once you hear it enough times, you're like, okay, then it's just part of the pie. And then you get a yes and you're like, dopamine hit, yay. But like, you have to like train your brain to struggle through some of that stuff in order to actually move the needle. So a lot of times I would say that it feels like the low hanging fruit because you feel like you're like doing things. And sometimes that is the case. Sometimes it's where you should be, but always reevaluate a little bit.
Yes. Yeah. I love that. And sometimes it changes. So in the, you know, in different seasons, your audience could change. Your trends, right? Trends come and go. And I know most entrepreneurs start a business and think they know exactly the type. They think they know their avatar. When you start, you think this is exactly who I want to work with. This is where they hang out. I've got it, and now I'm going to go and do other things. But that could change too. So, you know, my best friend is my CFO for the accounting firm, and her and I come from. We went against all the rules. We were like, we're not going to niche down. We're going to hire friends and family. We're going to be moms and business. We're like, let's make this as hard as possible. We're still here, so something's working. But we said when we started, we both come from construction. So our ideal client is someone in construction, the trades, blue collar guys. And that, I know, isn't that funny?
That is, funny. It's well, really especially knowing where you went.
Different intentions. We thought we're gonna make videos with hard hats. You know, we're going.
Made sense in theory. Love it.
We're gonna like do the thing. We might even like drop an F-bomb to like be sassy and like, I want an accountant that says the F-bomb. We didn't know, and social media was weird because where do they show up? Nowhere. Facebook. They want a handshake in person. Well, and that's difficult.
Well, that's why part of the before, you'll notice too, before I said even finding their avatar, your customer avatar, I always like people to create their own personal avatar. Who do you want to show up as before anything else? Because slowly you'll start to see who comes to you. Like it's been fascinating actually. So when I first started speaking, we'll talk about that. When I first started speaking,
she hears your voice. She's getting excited.
I hear you, Dolly. Sing it to me, Queen.
No, she hears your voice.
I love it. Put on that coat of many colors. Walk around.
She's like, I hear a dog person. What's happening? I have to keep petting her because she's going crazy.
I love that. That's amazing.
Anyway,
that's so funny.
Oh my gosh. I don't even recognize her. She's normally sleeping, but
love it.
I warned you about the snoring. I didn't know there'd be crying when she hears Jessica's
she just wants
voice.
to hang out. I get it.
I'm telling you.
I'll hang out too.
She wants to learn all about when you work with people.
I love it. Let's do it.
Media.
Oh yeah,
She's
let's.
Ready.
That's so funny. That's so funny. Oh wait. Okay. So for speaking, so almost all of my CMO and coaching work is done with female-owned small business owners. I invest in almost all, not completely, but almost all female and small businesses. And I was like, that's almost all of my events started professional women's conferences, that kind of thing. And I still love speaking at them. That's still when I'm pitching myself as a potential speaker, I almost exclusively stick with women's events just because that's who I work with. But it's been fascinating who comes to me the other way around because it's a yes and, right? There are those elements, but there are so many men also very interested. And I think you even talked about your audiences. You have a lot of men that are listening. So hi guys, how are you? But that are also interested in wanting to learn about their brains and biology and neuroplasticity and how that can help them run their businesses more efficiently and effectively and be more resilient and hopeful, right? So if I had just drawn up my avatar, all of my conversation, very similar to you actually, all of the things I used to post would be like, hey girls, like, what's up ladies, like whatever. And now as my audience, especially as it's started growing more frequently, more recently, is really about a 50-50 split, majority women, but 50-50-ish in terms of growth. And it's people that just want to be better. So why do I have to niche that down? Right? But what I do have to define is how I'm going to speak and how I'm going to present myself because I am my brand now. But for your accounting firm, right? Like, how do they speak? If you guys want to drop that bomb left and right, go for it. Like, you know, I do have one client. It's kind of funny. I have two clients that are related, like literally they're sisters. And one loves, we always call her rock star instead of pop star. So I have to like change my verbiage because she likes to like swear a little bit, that kind of thing. And then the other one like feels that's very unprofessional and that is not her presence whatsoever. Sure. So it's like really fun to see those two just because they're connected. But how you speak and how you want to show up for the world as a brand. Sometimes as yourself if you are your brand, but sometimes just make yourself a personality and name it something different. Like I had to name my whole career something a little bit different so that I could show up for the world without taking umbrage on every single moment. That's such a good idea, you naming it. Because I do, with being the face of the brand, so being the person, you know, my CFO and I are wildly different. Very similar to the sisters. I am usually the witty cheerleader, right? I'm the one that comes to the team meeting and I'm like, give me your highs and lows. Oh my gosh, you look so cute. Your skin looks so clear. And she's like, all right, let's just get down to it, right? Like we all have somewhere to be. So it's a nice pair. But yes, it is naming the personality and what's needed. It is recognizing maybe the fact that Whitney and I, my CFO, are so different is what attracts the type of people that we work with. So we do have both. And yes, we did take a turn. We still have the traits, but we attract a lot of, I'm going to say high earning, just powerhouse women. And that surprised me for some reason. So I want to make sure that I get to ask you about the side porch. It's just fun. I love the side porch name. Minnie's just going to be Minnie in the background every time. Minnie can hang out on the side porch.
Minnie, you want to come to the side porch, girl? I know.
Yeah.
I don't know who she is right
so
now.
Funny.
She's never acted like this with.
That's so funny. She's a cutie.
This computer. She's very excited.
That's so fun.
So she's going to come to the side porch with us. What is the side porch? What's going on there?
Admittedly, the side porch is, so I had that blog for many, many years. I had well over 1 million readers per month on a regular basis. Wow. But I was realizing that it wasn't feeling authentic to me anymore. And this was just in the past calendar year, actually. So I decided, because it wasn't feeling like where I and the team, also I have a small team that I work with, it wasn't feeling like it was where we wanted to go, but it's still the baby. It was great. So that was called Semi-Sweet Tooth. But I still loved writing, and I don't have as much writing in my repertoire as much as I like to. So like I said, I loved writing. That was just something I enjoyed doing. I'm still a weirdo that reads actual books and goes to the library and all that kind of thing.
Girl, yes. The smell of a book? What?
Amen. I love it.
Gosh, a musty old like library room. Get me like, I'm
exactly. Oh yeah. Yes. Yeah, for sure. You get it. But so I was missing that writing element. So really the side porch is just where I talk about whatever I feel like.
Like a public diary?
Yeah, it's like literally whatever I feel like talking about. I try for about 2 posts a week. And it's a Substack. So it does, if you guys are familiar with Substack, it's kind of has like a WordPress community kind of feel, but it does email you directly if you want to be involved, and it is free. But it is really, on there I'll talk a little bit about events, but it's really just whatever's been crossing my path a lot lately. And if any listeners have any suggestions on things to share too, because it's things that I just find interesting and whatnot. Like I said, I try for 2 posts a week. I am taking a little break. Ashley knows, and this may be dating the podcast a little bit, but I have been traveling with the Olympics, so some of the U.S. team a little bit. So I just got back. So I had a little stuff going on, but I will be getting back to it. But the side porch, I wanted just a safe space to talk about things. So a lot of it, I am very interested in our biology and neuroplasticity and ways that we can optimize. I hate that word, but that we can like really optimize ourselves and really like build ourselves up. I feel like optimal. Okay.
Well, I mean, I love it because it's explaining what you're doing. You're saying I still like writing, and how can
I just love
still
it.
Do what I like to do.
So that's a very just fun space. Like there's no monetization strategy. What I was realizing with the blog, and the main reason that we pulled ourselves out of the blog, is that the main core of my entire business is just authenticity. We want to show up authentically ourselves, and then hope. And luckily it's delivered, but hope that the right people find us, right? The people that really gravitate towards us. And it was almost becoming too much based on a monetization strategy in the blogging world. Like a lot of people purchase from blogs all the time, and they don't even realize that they're buying from blogs, which is great. Love that for the blogging world, right? A lot of people are like, oh, I don't read blogs. I'm like, yes, you do. You just don't know that you do. Which is great. They present themselves very professionally, which is beautiful. But I didn't want to be driven by a search engine optimization strategy on that space. I didn't want to feel like I was constantly needing to post sponsored content, but that's what it required. So it just wasn't for me anymore. So that still lives. There's a lot of evergreen posts and great content. If you do find Semi-Sweet Tooth, there's how to get involved in triathlons and marathons and that kind of stuff. I talk about my egg freezing journey on there. If anyone wants to explore that, I'm happy to share those posts. But the side porch was kind of my answer for how I could get the writing without the
pressure for how
without the pressure.
You just give yourself permission to create a space and talk about all kinds of different things. It feels like a public diary. I like that.
I
love. And so I love that. When you talked about the sponsored ads on a blog, I immediately think of Pinterest, and I love a recipe from Pinterest. But tell me why I have to go through 16 different obstacles to get to the recipe. Don't tell me how you found this recipe.
Oh yeah, I totally get that. And I've also been guilty of like giving the provided update and then the recipe. So I'm part of the problem. or I was part of the
Oh my
problem.
gosh. I get it because it does, I know it helps, the monetary aspect. But I'm like, girl, I'm just like trying to figure out soup.
Well,
like,
what's kind of
jump the
funny
recipe.
is, so part of the reason, I mean, this is like totally random, but part of the reason that we in the blogging sphere, I'll still group myself there at that point, would provide that update. So I had a lot of readers that would check my blog on a regular basis. When I first started blogging, I would provide a update. I think I did like 2 or 3 a day at the very beginning because it was all about food and fitness, but they were small. It was almost like what X is today, right? Like it's just small little updates. They weren't really big. And then over time, the entire strategy kind of had to shift to becoming more evergreen content because search engine optimization became a thing and whatnot. So we came from this world of people would want to know what we're actually up to. So very much a living diary. And then the recipe would be on the end. So that's why we had the full update, because people would do that. So it's either people that are kind of stuck in that universe and assuming that people are still checking every day, or you're just reading an old post.
Both, probably both.
I
love that. I love that you have that space.
There was a long time that I had people regularly, they knew what I was up to on an everyday basis. Honestly, it was more for safety and privacy that I stopped doing those updates. But that wasn't a thing back when, Tumblr, we didn't even think about it. AI was not even a glimmer in our eye.
I'm right. This is where I am at this moment, and it's
exactly. Literally, it was real time. Yeah.
Yes, and now you can't even tell people when you go on vacation, apparently, because then people know you're not at your house, so you have to like post after. Yes.
Yeah, it's like a whole thing.
Adjusting.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I have had this crazy brain tickle of an idea when you talked about the side porch. I also love writing, and I think I want to start a pen pal thing. And I thought this was a new idea. I was like, oh, I'm so original. Then I looked it up on TikTok for ideas. This is apparently a very common thing.
What is? Explore it further.
The Snail Mail Club.
Okay. Cute.
That's not what mine's called. It's the idea of people sending essentially blogs, writing a letter to their pen pals with like goodies inside.
Okay.
So Jessica writes a letter about her Olympics fun.
Yeah.
And sent it to her mailing list.
Okay.
And then inside there's a little sticker that just got printed for us. That's like the little hoops for the Olympics.
That's cute.
And people pay for this.
That's cute.
I thought, original thought is what I thought.
Yeah.
It's not. A lot of people do this.
So really?
Yes. I was like, what?
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It's hard to be creative in today's world because
so true.
I mean, look where we are. But I love that. I can't wait to check that out. I feel like it's going to feel a little nostalgic in a way.
Yeah.
Like reading a blog.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
I also love knowing that you're doing it from your heart.
It is very,
thing.
But the reason I'm providing caveats is because I think a lot of people get very used to like emails on a regular cadence and like that kind of thing. My goal, and it's been fascinating. It's almost been like a learning experience because I've tried to not pay attention to like metrics and that kind of thing. It's really hard not to, y'all. Like I mean, I always like it's very much a take my own advice kind of moment where this is a passion project. There is no money associated. Like it's very fun.
Right.
But then I have some friends that it is very much like a piece of their business. And I'm like, well, should I be doing that? Should I be doing this? Should I be doing... So it's very much, especially since it's in its infancy stages, it's very much a learning process to take it all back to remember.
Yeah, we don't need to look at the analytics. Like we're just writing from the heart. And I love that.
Which then takes it back to biology because that dopamine hit. It's all our biology. We are mammals.
It's all connected.
It's all connected.
I love that.
It is all connected. So, do you mind if I really quickly tap on that for a second?
Of course.
Okay.
I do not mind at all.
Because one of my main keynote that I talk about most conferences is about, I have 2 separate keynotes, but my core one, my signature keynote, is about actual physical things that we can do, like tangible activities that we can do to build more resilient, hopeful brains, to become more resilient, hopeful people in general. But it has been so fascinating to start to learn and see all of the things, because all of the qualities of life, right? From distraction to joy to gratitude to forgiveness, etc. All of those things are trained in our brain. So to kind of think through that. So when we're talking about like the dopamine hit and the joy and that kind of thing, how can we get that in a different way? Or what does that actually mean to us? So for example, I've been working really hard, and I was working with a lot of athletes. This is one of the things we work a lot on, is how to train boredom. Because our brains need to learn that boredom does not mean unsafe.
Right.
So
what a lesson of today.
Right. Yeah. Well, and athletes, if you think about it, they have to do routine over and over and over and over and over and over. Right. And same with business, right? We have to do the same thing over and over and over. And our brains get bored, and all of a sudden it feels unsafe, and we need a dopamine hit, and we're like, So part of it is training boredom. How to
everything, we're bored.
Right. Because it feels unsafe. Yeah. So how to train our brain? No, it's okay. So part of it is removing ourselves from those metrics as much as we can. Yeah. It's been interesting. Yeah.
A great reminder. And so you are one of those who doesn't die when you when you speak in public. You live to tell about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you like it.
So part of it, a big portion of that was I realized very early on in my speaking career that it's not about me, right? The audience is hoping that I succeed, first of all, but also it is not about me. I'm actually helping them. I'm helping the people in the audience. So it's a different way of speaking. I had a speaking coach that I worked with for a while, and she has this whole theory on being a lighthouse speaker. So you're guiding them to the right direction. You're not a spotlight speaker, right? You're not shining the light on you. You're having them come towards you and say, this is the direction that you can take. This is information you can have. And that was very helpful for me to be like, actually, they're not staring at me. They're trying to reflect on their daily lives.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's been a very interesting thought experiment. But it's also, it changed my entire, I feel like I can show it more authentically. This has been several years now, but I can show it more authentically. I can be my own self because I don't feel like I have to put on airs. I am very much more comfortable on stage now because just of that one thought switch.
Of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to try that. I have to speak a lot. So I'm going to pretend I'm a lighthouse and I'm guiding them.
Yes.
They're not looking at me. They're looking at the light.
Right. I also had a dance teacher. I remember this was probably 2009, 2010 or something. She was a professional ballet teacher, but she taught just like a fun class for adults. And I was in the fun class. And I remember her saying, she was like, don't even worry about how you look. Everyone's looking at themselves in the mirror. And I was like, that's a valid point. I very rarely am looking at the other people.
I'm locked in with me.
Everyone's worried about their own lives most of the time. They're not really that worried about you. And the audience wants you to do well. They don't want to be like, well, that was worthless, like walking out of the room, right?
Yeah.
So they want you to do good.
Oh, that's such a good reminder when you are about to do a webinar, when you're about to talk about your business in front of like 1 to 100 people.
Right.
People want you to succeed.
Yeah.
It's just as awkward for them if you don't as it is for you.
Right.
So they do want you to succeed. And everyone's looking at themselves in the mirror. So don't pay attention to anyone else. Right. I am always locked in. If I'm in a class, I'm like staring right into my own soul.
Right.
Like, we're okay. We're not gonna die here.
And I think if anybody is considering public speaking, when you're writing a message too, the main thing that people need to be able to do in the audience is to reflect on their own lives in order to transform within their space, right? So it's how, when I'm speaking or when I'm crafting a message, I'm really focused on okay, this is whatever they can do, whether they're in business, whether it's a personal, whether it's a leadership conference, sometimes it's students, depending on the audience. How can they take those lessons and adapt them for themselves rather than saying these are exactly, this is exactly what you need to do. Yeah. This is whatever, right? So you need to be able to kind of adapt the message. I talk about my own story to my level of comfort, but that's just for audiences where I think that there's going to be people that can relate to it, right? If I'm talking to students, I'm really talking about, freezing my eggs if they're in high school. They're not there. They're not thinking about that. But I might talk about things like when I, failed on a specific business model, or like I might relate it to a group project in that circumstance, right?
Where so they can reflect and see themselves in it.
Right. Exactly. Right. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, good stuff, because I think there are pieces that our own audience could relate to on a lot of different levels. There are people that listen to this that are brand new business owners, but there are just business professionals. Right. Maybe they don't own a business and they're listening in on what are some things that I can do to just improve my life 1% every day, right? Yeah. Just a little bit every single day. So most people have something in their life where they have to talk to other people.
Yeah.
It might not be public speaking, in front of a big audience, but maybe they're wanting to be a leader of a small group. Maybe they're wanting to start a book club. They're wanting to start a mom group, and it requires a little bit of speaking,
courage, too.
Yes, and it can feel very scary and vulnerable. And it is definitely gets better with practice. So
absolutely,
thank you.
Yeah,
for sharing that insight.
Yeah,
I am so thrilled that you had so much patience with my steady dog that has never acted the way she did during this podcast. But for some reason, your voice,
dear listener, we were talking prior that I do a lot of fostering for dogs prior, so it makes sense.
Yes,
we're part of the same clique.
Malone here, with the voice of an angel. And she became a different dog. But thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Do you mind if I do one more comment too? I know we're about to close, but I want to just tap really quickly on something you just said there too about taking. So for example, your example was my public speaking and how they can take it into their real life. And I want to encourage all of the listeners that there's something you can learn from everyone, right? So I have a series right now on Instagram that's about Olympic athletes and how you can use those mental traits, the brain biology in their daily life. But there's something you can learn from every single person you meet on this planet, and something that you either mirror in their life, right? So you might see something that's similar, or there's something that you can kind of model about their life too. So always have intention and always reflect, because we are never living on an island. We are all able to be inspired and learn from each other. So I just wanted to touch on that, because there's always something good, and all of our experiences, while they are unique, we're all in this together. So how can we all how can we all work together?
How can we all work together? How can we learn from each other?
Right.
I think it's really easy with social media to put people on a pedestal.
Yes.
And think, I'm so far from where Jessica is, and I want to be just like Jessica. But in reality, like you and I talking, like I've learned so much, and hopefully vice versa.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you learn from people. So I love that. I'm so grateful for this time. Minnie is definitely gonna get a treat after this, because I've never seen her so happy at this time of day. Usually she's napping. So thank you so much for coming on today. We will drop your Insta handle and your website in the show notes, but I hope every single person reads the side porch, but also goes to your Instagram, because it's very, you have it very organized very well.
Oh, thank you.
There's a lot to learn on there. What are those things called? The highlights?
The highlights, yeah.
The little circle?
Yeah.
The highlights are so fun. I didn't know you were I had a feeling you were a dog person because the first highlight has a little dog emoji. So I was like, maybe I'm in a safe space.
This is a safe space for dog lovers.
Yes, for dog lovers.
Yeah.
So I will encourage
I even think it's in my bio. I think I put like something like dog fur on everything or something.
You did. Yeah. Dog hair on everything. So I was like, oh, my sister. Yes.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Great. Love it.